Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to show you the 2021 version of Binance Centralized Exchange and all the major features that they've added ever since. I mean, it's been a long time coming. They first launched this exchange back around July of 2017 and it used to be pretty basic back then as more and more users were on board in crypto. But now, I mean, they've come a long way. They've pretty much turned into like a bank, right? And you're going to be shocked when you see all these different features that they've got. All these different things you can do. It's actually overwhelming, right? There's so much to manage. Just imagine that the amount of stuff that you can do on Binance right now is absolutely insane. So let's start off with the very first thing here, and that's of course once you register an account for Binance, you will be welcomed with this page here, and you need to log into it. And then basically you could see all the different features here. So you've got your email address, which tells you of course the VIP status that you've got, the security feature, the identification, reward center and all this, and even the referral feature. So we're going to take a look to begin with the overview here. So the overview is the very first one that we can see here within the wallet section, right? Because this is where you want to see, this is where you want to be managing most of your activity, at least at the beginning, right? So overview, you could see your balance here. You could deposit, you could transfer. So like I said, this is overwhelming. If you're new to crypto, you're not sure where to even begin. So the first thing that you could do here is you could deposit, of course, but of course it all depends what you want to deposit. I mean, do you already have crypto and you want to send it here, or do you want to purchase crypto for the very first time with a card, with a bank card, of course, and then to be able to manage that internally. So we're assuming here that you just want to deposit from one exchange to another. So if you do that, you can choose deposit crypto here, for example, right? So it does tell you here you can receive your crypto from any external wallet with your wallet address or QR code to start trading, or you can deposit cash. Let's say you want to start from the beginning. And again, this isn't financial advice. I'm just teaching you. This is all for educational purposes, right? Just to show you how you can use this exchange. So it's up to you if you decide to buy crypto or not. But again, you can buy it with your credit card too, if you decide to do so. So this is using the local bank transfer. If you're in Europe, you can use SEPA, which is very, very fast. It only takes, it's instant in some cases, or it could take, like say, up to 6 hours if you're on a working day. It all depends on the type of transfer you choose. But if you choose the fast one, the instant one, then you usually get it straight away, or of course with the credit card, but you have to pay that small fee. So I always recommend local bank transfer because then it's always cheaper, and even though it takes a little bit longer, you can then buy later on if you're not in a rush to get something straight away. And then of course peer-to-peer trading, if you want to trade with other folks around the world, pretty much, right? They're basically selling at a discounted price maybe in some cases, but you got to be careful because there could be scammers too. Never send your money before you receive the funding. So let's say, for example, you want to deposit cash, so you click on that here, and then it basically gives you the options. So how do you deposit using the bank transfer? Well, you submit the order, you enter the amount. Step 2 is the offline bank transfer, which is to proceed with online or offline bank transfer payments and so on. So you click on got it here, and then you have different options here. Now, I didn't actually deposit on Binance using my bank card. I used the other cryptocurrency exchanges for that. But if you want to use Binance, you can do so, of course, because they're a giant exchange now. I mean, they're well known. They've got a good reputation. You can select your currency method here. They've got a huge range of options here between Australian dollar, Brazilian real, euro, sterling. I mean, look at this. The list is pretty big, right? And then you have the different options. So you could choose the bank card Visa to pay as soon as possible, or Ideal, which is another payment method. Also, they've got an add cash account balance option, and Etana as well. I've never heard of those, but the majority that people would use, at least in Europe, is the bank transfer SEPA option, which could be very fast. So you basically choose this and then you enter your payment details. But of course you need to complete that identity verification to increase the limit to 240 euro, which is not a lot, to be honest. It depends on you. Like some people like to deposit in the thousands, but initially, like people that are new to crypto, they want to go with small amounts at first to get used to it. So yeah, you need to verify your identity before, which is KYC, know your customer. And then of course you've got the option to withdraw as well, exactly the same way. You can withdraw to your bank account. You do need to pay a small fee. In euros it's 80 cents. It shows it for me here, and so on. And some of these other methods don't even have a fee. Now if we look at the exchange, so let's say you've actually bought let's say you've deposited euros, right? And now you're interested to get some crypto. So what do you actually do? Well, you go to the classic exchange here. And here we can see how the exchange looks like with the order books, right? We're on the Bitcoin. Let me close this. We've got the Bitcoin USDT pair here. Now USDT is not what you'll be getting because of course, let's say you deposited with euro. So you'll need to get euros, right? You'll need to see the euro pairs. So what do? We go to fiat here, which is a tab on the top right hand corner. You go down to euro, you select it, you choose it. And now we can see all the different pairs that you can buy with euro. And of course, these are all the major cryptocurrencies here, which on CoinMarketCap, we know they're on the pretty much on the top of the list. So let's say you want to get Bitcoin. So we can see the price of Bitcoin in euro is 27,666 and it's fluctuating quite a lot. So let's say you want to get in as soon as possible. You don't want to wait. Maybe you want to wait a little bit. So you choose like the highest buy order here and you set like say a limit order. So you can do that. You just go to normal here. Let's go to spot trading. So now the difference between spot trading and these other ones is quite a lot. It's quite a lot to explain, right? Because the whole purpose of this is to simplify everything, right? I'm not going to be talking about leverage trading here, but let's say you just want to buy some Bitcoin with euros, right? So you've got your euros, you've deposited using the SEPA bank transfer. You choose the spot option here, which is the basic one. You choose the amount. And let's say you want to buy 100 euros worth of Bitcoin. So you get 0.0036 at this price, assuming it's going to fill for you. Then you click on buy BTC, you confirm the transaction and that's it. So then it'll basically place a limit order here. Now there are different features here. So we've got the limit order, the market order if you don't want to wait at all. If you just want to buy at the price of the market, what usually happens here is that the bot pretty much when you click on buy BTC places a buy order within these sell orders here. It starts with the smallest one and then it works its way up if there isn't enough to cover you based on your amount. But I always recommend limit order because the fees are a little bit small. So if you're not in a rush, you can do that. And then we've got the stop limit order here, which is mostly used for traders. The good thing about the stop limit order is that, say, for example, you want to buy Bitcoin, but if the price, goes up to a certain amount, you don't want that to happen, right? Let's say you want to buy Bitcoin at a very low price, say at 26,000, but the price goes to 28,000. So you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you get in so that you don't miss out. You want to get into Bitcoin before the price gets to say 28,000, right? So let's say you want to get in 27,800. So if it does go to 27,800, it'll place a buy order for you straight there and then, because if it doesn't happen to go that low, but it does go much higher, you don't want to miss out, right? So even though you're paying that extra premium, this feature is handy, right? And again, this feature is handy for trading too. Say for example, if you want to sell Bitcoin before it falls too much up to a certain price, let's say you think it's going to get to 20,000 euros here, because let's say it's on a downtrend in your trading. So you may want to place a stop limit sell order for Bitcoin to sell if it gets to say 25,800, because you don't want it to go to 20,000. So you do that, you press the stop here, the limit, you want to sell it at this amount. So you want to stop. Basically what the stop does is it creates a trigger. So you're basically saying when it gets to 25,500, let's say 25,500, you want to create that trigger to sell at 25,400, right? So let's just give this as an example, but you should obviously make this much thinner here because we've got a lot of liquidity for Bitcoin. So you could just say 25,490 is when I want to sell my Bitcoin if the price gets to 25,500 at the market price, right? The market price is the one that you see here. So then you can choose the amount you want to sell. You click on sell BTC and that's it. And then there's the other option here, which is for advanced trading here. Now, why is the OCO option very, very important? And this is mostly for advanced traders, but also maybe for you. If you're learning how to trade and you want to use any kind of tools, it's OCO, right? Well, why is OCO important? Well, because you can take profit with OCO and also protect yourself in case of a sudden drop. So for example, let's say you saw Bitcoin at 28,200 and you want to trade and you're hoping that it's going to get to 30,000, right? So what do? You want to sell Bitcoin at 30,000, right? So you place a sell order at 30,000, but you also want to protect yourself in case of a sudden drop. So you place a sell order to get triggered at 24,990 for the amount of 24,980. So what that means is that if the price goes down to 24,990, a limit order is set automatically to sell Bitcoin at 24,980, and even though it's a little bit higher than this, it'll dump it at that price. And then of course, if it's say 24,985 in the order books, then that's what you'll sell it for, but it will go as low as 24,980. So the good thing is that this feature is awesome for liquid assets. If you're trading with say illiquid assets with I don't know, I can't really give an example right now, but there are some tokens like SXP, for example, doesn't have a lot of liquidity. So if you're trading with like large amounts, it's possible that you could suffer slippage. So basically what that means is that your order will not actually fill completely. Maybe it'll fill 30%, 40%, just because other people are doing the same as you, but their order was a little bit faster through the order book to get executed. So it just dumped right below yours. So now you're stuck with a limit order, say somewhere around here. And unless the price goes back up and buyers are buying, you're not going to get filled, right? So you're going to find out that you're basically becoming a bag holder and you've only got filled with say 20, 30%. So that's unfortunate. And that's why you should have a bit of a gap between the stop and the limit, just to give yourself a bit of room, because if a whale does tend to dump, then you'll have some room to go, right? Because your limit is going to get executed say 1.18, but you're going to be selling at 1.14. So you've got that room to dump straight away because you're going to get that right opportunity there, right? But that of course can happen, right? So it doesn't matter how wide you set it sometimes, unless it's very, very wide, of course, but then it may not be profitable for you. So just be careful with that. Use this feature with liquid assets. Be careful with illiquid assets, because whales can manipulate it and they can impact you. So that's enough about that feature. Now let's talk about Binance Earn here, which is one of the features that we've got in the finance section. So as I was saying here, Binance has become kind of like a bank right now. So if we go to Binance Earn here, we can see how we can earn by supplying liquidity. Maybe you're not a trader, maybe you just want to supply liquidity, maybe you just want to stake, you just want to set and forget, and you want to generate that passive income. So they've got the flexible savings option here, where you can basically choose from a list of tokens here, even Bitcoin, and you can pretty much generate passive income. You can generate 1.2% per year on Bitcoin if you decide to save it with Binance, right? But again, you're relying on the exchange. So if something happens to the exchange in this 1 year, then of course it's risky because you could lose your funds, right? And again, Binance do have a fund for anti-hacking if they get hacked again. I know they've been hacked once in like 2019, but if they get hacked again, they've got this fund to protect their investors. So it's just something that kind of assures you, right? But again, they are an unregulated exchange, so you got to keep that in mind too. There's always that risk too, right? So now we've got the launch pool feature here, which is basically a way for you to deposit and earn. So instead of saving, you're basically depositing, and you're staking to all these different pools here, as you can see. Basically, you're supplying liquidity. You're supplying liquidity for BNB, and you're getting this token called LIT. So that's what you're being paid in, and then you can sell that LIT for funds for other assets, for example. And then we've got the BNB Vault as well, where you can get benefits from BNB at the click of a button. Of course, by staking, you can stake LIT, you can stake BNB. So yeah, I mean, there are so many different features here, as you can see, and even USD Tether pays really well, right? If you decide to stake for 7 days, you get 6.3% per year return on your investment, and there's no risk with this. Again, there is a risk because now there's some legal problem with Tether, but let's say you want to use BUSD instead, which is also a stable token, for 7 days. Yeah, you get 6.3%, so that's better than most banks pay you, right? I don't think there are any banks that would pay 6.3%. And then this does increase if you decide to stake for say 90 days, you get 7% API, right? So yeah, zero risk crypto here, right? This isn't really like crypto. I mean, it's, you know, it's like you're basically staking US dollars or euros, right? And you're just basically holding it in a bank and you're hoping that you're going to get some nice income. Now, the last one I want to talk about from the finance section is the high risk products one, which is the DeFi staking. And this is the one that's been exploding around 2020, mid 2020, when everybody was hyped about DeFi, investing in DeFi. Well, why is it? Because you can actually yield farm. So what does that mean? You're basically supplying liquidity to a pool for traders to have that liquidity to be able to trade the assets, right? So let's say, for example, you wish to supply Bitcoin to a pool, you can actually get up to 7.49% API, return on your investment per year. So that is huge, but again, it's risky, and hence why it says high risk product, because you're basically supplying it to a pool, and if that pool gets hacked, you can actually lose your Bitcoin. So that is the risk. If the pool does not get hacked, you get a huge return because you're risking to supply that liquidity for traders, right? So yeah, this is why it's really, really important to keep an eye out on this and to be careful with this as well, right? Because even though the return is higher, also your risk is bigger, right? So I mean, are you willing to risk losing everything just for that return on your investment? Some people are okay with that, but it depends on you, right? And if your risk and your level of risk, pretty much. So here we've got the option to add liquidity on different pairs. So for example, let's say you want to add on the BUSD USDT pair liquidity here. This is zero risk in terms of volatility, because we know this is pegged to the US dollar. Like the difference between these two is maybe 0.01 cents or something like that, right? So you can add liquidity here. You can select the pool that you want to choose. So let's say you want to choose this pool. It even tells you here what the pool size is. You need to accept the agreement, of course. Of course, you need to choose what you want to supply liquidity with. You can choose between USDT or BUSD, so it's up to you. You need at least 10 to supply liquidity. And of course, you can add both here. As you can see, add USDT plus BUSD, or just the one. Maybe you just don't want to add, maybe you don't have both of them and you only want to add one of them. So yeah, very straightforward here. It may seem complex at first to grasp if you're not used to the DeFi functionality and what liquidity pool actually means. Well, like I was saying earlier, you're basically supplying coins for other traders to be able to trade. You're making their assets liquid, right? Because then if there's enough liquidity, then they're not going to suffer slippage and this sort of stuff. So that's pretty much how this works. You're basically preventing the price from dumping too much, and hence why you're getting that share of the transaction fee. There are other features too. Again, there is the advanced trading feature here. So this is how the advanced feature looks like. But then we've also got the classic feature of the exchange, and the classic feature is more simple to use here. The advanced one gives you extra trading tools, right? This is the advantage with the advanced one. You can see the buy and the sells are on the right hand side here. It looks a little bit different here. We've got more features. You can modify this graph in certain ways with technical indicators and so on. So yeah, again, we've got the margin trading one here, which I'm not going to cover in this video because I'm not a fan of margin trading. I know some people like to do that because real trading is actually using margin trading or leverage trading. But again, as I was saying earlier, like I don't want to go too much into this, but what pretty much high level speaking, what this means is that you can actually trade 3 times with your funds. So for example, let's say you have $1,000 and you want to leverage trade or margin trade with cross 3x. The 3x stands for 3 times your full amount. So for example, you have 1,000, you can use $3,000 to trade. But again, you do need to pay like a small fee. There's a calculator here to Binance. So if you're not able to repay this in time, then you could actually get liquidated and lose all of your funds. You also get liquidated if the price of your trade, like say if you're not using stop losses properly, if the price goes too low, like below a certain percentage, you can also get liquidated. So make sure you do a lot of research on this, do a lot of reading on this, because you need to make sure that you get this right so that you don't risk losing everything. A lot of people have lost a lot of funds in crypto because it's already volatile as it is. So using leverage trading is even more riskier. But of course, the advantage with these is that you can short. So you can make money shorting when the price goes down, aside from longing. Whereas with spot trading, the one that I spoke about at the beginning, you're basically just making money when the price goes up, right? Now, if we go here to the wallet again, to the deposit and withdrawal section, because I want to talk about this again. So here we've got all the different crypto assets. So let's say, for example, you wanted to get Polkadot, and you wanted to deposit Polkadot, or you wanted to withdraw Polkadot. So let's say you wanted to buy Polkadot, right? So there are different features that you can use here. Buy it with euros or US dollars or whatever asset or whatever fiat you have. You can deposit if you want to bring it from your wallet over to the exchange, or you can withdraw if you want to take it out of your exchange. Let's say you bought it on here on the .USDT pair or on the .Euro pair, and then you want to withdraw to your wallet. So you just go to withdraw here, and then you have the option to choose where do you want to transfer it to. So DOT has been created on various chains. So they're on Binance chain, they're on Binance Smart chain. they're on DOT, of course, and they're on the Ethereum blockchain. So they're basically on multiple ones. So you got to be very careful here not to make a mistake when you're transferring. So in that Polkadot web wallet tutorial that I've done, or even the Polka wallet tutorial with the mobile phone, you're basically generating an address that is on the Polkadot relay chain, on the Polkadot blockchain. So in that case, if you want to send funds to that wallet address, you need to select DOT here. Okay, so that's what you need to do. And as you can see, the fee is very small. It's not very small, but it's 166 here, but it's just something for you because it's 0.1 DOT, right? So it used to be cheaper. Think about it. I mean, it used to be $4 not too long ago. So because the price has gone up quite a lot, now the fee is actually higher, right? But yeah, I mean, before when it was $4, you were paying 40 cents, which was not a lot of money. But as you can see on other blockchains here, it is much cheaper, like 4 cents on Binance chain here. And on Ethereum, it's very expensive. On Ethereum, it's $10.47, which is a ripoff. But yeah, 166 is not like a huge amount of money, but it's still quite high for a fee. Hopefully they'll look at modifying that, but it is what it is. I mean, this is what Binance are charging because they're making some money from you withdrawing from their exchange, because you're basically removing the liquidity from their exchange by transferring it out. So they need to cover themselves by charging you this fee. So yeah, this is pretty much all you do. You enter the address there, and then you click submit, and then you have to confirm your confirm the transaction through your email and so on. You'll get these kind of security privileges, or not security privileges, but security questions that you're going to get asked before you withdraw, just to make sure that it is really you withdrawing. So yeah, I mean, Binance has a lot of features here. And again, exactly the same with deposit. You choose what you want to deposit to. You get your Bitcoin address here. For example, if you want to get Bitcoin, you can also use BEP2 if you want to transfer the BEP2 version of Bitcoin, which is on Binance chain, the ERC20 token. So it's growing significantly here. It may seem confusing, but it's just, you got to make sure that you're on the right network, right? Usually, most of the time, you'll be using the Bitcoin network to make deposits, right? So yeah, this is pretty much how it works. I mean, there isn't much else to talk about here. Just have a play around with these different features, the security features. Make sure you know how to set up 2FA, two-factor authentication, and so on, so that you don't make any mistakes. And of course, you've got the transaction history on the bottom left-hand corner here, which shows you all the different transactions you've made, deposits, withdrawals, trades, and so on. So yeah, this is pretty much it from today's tutorial. I know it was quite long, but hopefully you got a better understanding of how this works and how you can use it. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.